So today we're going to talk about how to engage the appropriate time frame to get your buyer into a home. Now, a lot of times if you're working with a couple, there may be some conflicting answers. Somebody says, well, we need to be in there before kids start school again, or we'd like to be in there by the time our lease is up on our apartment. There could be a multiple different answers they give you for multiple different reasons. Now, you have to remember, when somebody you're working with tells you that they have a particular time frame, I always recommend you cut that in half. You never know what might happen or what might come up during the transaction. For instance, you might have a contract pending, and after you do inspections or 3 weeks down the road, appraisal happens and it doesn't work out and the deal falls apart, then you have to find another property, put another contract in it, and then you have to start the whole process over again. So you don't want to leave it up to right at the last minute situation anytime when working with a buyer. So what I do is find out how much time they have and then cut that in half. And then now your new goal is, how do I get them into a property within this time frame? That way you have plenty of time to make up the difference. Now, sometimes you have a customer who says, you know what, our lease isn't up till November, and we're gonna go ahead and start looking in April. Or is April a good time to start looking if my lease is up in November? So there's a couple things you have to think about. If their lease is not up, they don't want to purchase a home and then start spending money on mortgage payment when their lease in fact isn't actually up till November, because now they're paying a mortgage payment and they're paying a rent payment. Now remember, mortgage payments are paid in arrears. So as soon as they close, they usually get 1 month for free in the home until they actually have to start making their mortgage payments. So take that into consideration. On top of that, if you have a buyer who has a lease and maybe their lease isn't up till 6 months, but we know that the hot time to start looking for a property is now, or maybe it's good to start looking during a slow time before they hit the busy time of the market, it's because there's going to be a lot of competition, a lot of multiple offers, and now is the best time for them to get the best price and the best situation for purchasing. What we could do is we could go and say maybe a seller would be willing to pay their cancellation fee to get them out of their lease. So even though they have 6 months until their lease is up, I'd say, buyer, why don't we start looking today in case we do find you a property that's perfect for you and it's a great price and we don't have a lot of competition. We could negotiate that the seller contribute or pay your cancellation fee for your lease, which is typically 2 months worth of rent. So remember, overall, when working with buyers, you have to remember that this is a process in order to get them into a home. We don't just start showing properties on day one and then 30 or 45 days later they close. There is a process. So as soon as you start working with the buyer, you got to get them pre-approved. They got to submit their loan documentation. And on top of that, you've got to show them properties. Usually showings will last about a few weeks before they actually find something they like. And then once you submit your offer, we have a 30, 45, 60-day process to close. And remember, if a deal doesn't work out, inspections don't work out, or something happens and it falls through, we've got to have enough time to start the process over again for a separate property. So there you have it, guys. Now you know of all the different reasons that you might want to get a customer in a mind frame that we've got to start looking sooner than later because of a lot of things that might come up. So if you guys have any other ideas or reasons why a customer should start looking for a home sooner than later, please go ahead and give us your opinion or comment below. We'd like to see what you have to say. And if you like what you saw, please watch our other videos, subscribe to our channel, and until then, we'll see you next time.